नमस्ते गुरुजी। जय गुरुजी महाराज। जय गुरुजी साथ संगत जी। मल्टीलिंगुअल सेवादार टीम आपका स्वागत करती है। गुरु परिवार को बैसाखी की बहुत बहुत बधाइयाँ। आज गुरुजी महाराज की पुस्तक रेमिनिस्सिंग गुरुजी महाराज, जो कि अलग अंकल जी ने लिखी थी, उसका सेकंड सेशन आज स्टार्ट होगा गुरु महाराज की कृपा से। आज हमारे बीच में आरती कपूर आंटी जी, जो आज की रीडर हैं, जुड़ी हुई हैं, और मैं अलग अंकल से रिक्वेस्ट करूंगा, प्लीज आरती कपूर आंटी जी को पढ़ने के लिए आमंत्रित करें। जय गुरु जी, ओवर टू यू अलग अंकल।
जय गुरु जी। जय गुरु जी। आरती आंटी, कैन यू हियर अस?
नमस्ते अंकल। जय गुरु जी।
जय गुरु जी आंटी. We met you for a very short while last time when you visited
I
Seattle.
remember.
जी
कैसे हैं
जी
आप अंकल?
जी, बस ठीक है. Thank you very much, Auntie. We will request you to read, and wherever at some places I'll stop, and though you know everything, but then I'll just explain as to what I meant by those writing that. So you can start, Auntie, anytime that you want.
हाँ जी, गुरु जी की आज्ञा से शुरू करते हैं हम अंकल। और
जी.
सारी संगत को और सबसे पहले गुरु जी को बैसाखी की बहुत बहुत मुबारक हो। Thank you for giving me this opportunity. It's such an honor to be reading your book and remembering Guruji together. So without any further ado, उनकी आगे से शुरू करती हूँ। I'll be reading pages 13 to 23 आपकी किताब से। So 13वां पेज है जिसमें you've talked about Guruji's unending miracles. So Guruji cured ulcers by giving mirchi ki chutney, treated diabetes by giving sweets, and healed heart blockages by giving samosas. Maharaj performed operations on devotees using a spoon and cured people by giving water with Rudraksh mala dipped in it, or simply by giving water. One politician who had mouth cancer came to Guruji. Maharaj gave him tea to drink, but he did not finish it. Politician was only partially cured. Had he drunk the entire tea, he would have been completely cured. बहुत beautifully uncle आपने लिखा है. It's succinct, it's to the point, and this is
Yeah.
something that we witnessed firsthand.
Yes, Auntie. I will just like to just say, explain a little where I have said that Guruji treated diabetes by giving sweets.
हाँ जी.
Now, you know, in 98, I was posted in Army headquarters.
जी.
And as you know that we Army people have yearly medical. And my medical was done. And the doctor told me that I was a borderline diabetic. And he had underlined my that reading of 106, 107 or whatever it was with read this thing and said that you will not take any sweet. In fact, he explained, he said tea should be taken without sugar. And he explained, he said that sugar is not the requirement of body, it is the salt which is required by the body. So sugar is your required taste.
Right.
So I had that restriction. And sometime 98 only, when there was very little, few sangats used to be there, I was sitting there and I had never told Guruji who exactly I was after meeting him first time. So one day there were Imartis, and there were very 8-10 people. I think so. Whole tray of Imartis came, so he picked up 4 and gave to me. I ate those 4, and after that he told me. That's the first time he told me commander. That's the only time that he called me commander. So now I thought that I never told who I was. He called me and he said, Commander, and he gave me 4 more. Now I had 8 Imartis. And I remember that in the langar, there was some other sweet also. So I had to eat that also. And today it has been almost 27 years or 26 years. My sugar is just the same. It is 104 to 105. Whereas I will like to tell you, in my family, I've got one elder brother. His sugar goes up to 400 and all that. There's always SOS. My another brother who is no more, he had very high sugar level. So we had that tendency of having the sugar. But by Guruji is giving me those 8 Imartis and the doctor writing, even today, I enjoy every sweet. Don't take absolutely too much, but I don't hesitate taking any sweet, drinking sweet tea, all that. So this is what is practical example that I have. And as far as mirchi as chutney, you would be remembering that how he gave so much of mirchi used to be there, in fact, with the langar. And
और लंगर के साथ पानी नहीं मिलता था अंकल, if you remember. पानी बाहर जाके पीना पड़ता था.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And about this, what I have written about Rudraksh, about that mouth cancer, you all would be knowing about that.
Yes.
That who he was. So
Yes.
therefore, Guruji had very unique ways of curing people and blessing people, which looks very. I remember there was a satsang now, that time 98, 99, sometime, that somebody had come from Punjab and Guruji had asked him to get up, and he narrated that I think he had a blockage, confirmed blockage, and then he was to go for some, I think, treatment the next day. And I remember that Guruji gave so many samosas to him. And later, of course, you must have heard also certain satsangs about that. So I personally feel, what I deduce from this is that I think this is just I mean, he could cure you any way. All he wanted to say was that if you have his blessings, you don't have to bother about that this is what is not good for you, or this is what is harmful for you. The sweet is harmful for you, or the mirchi is harmful for you, or the samosa harmful for you. That is what I think it means. And second thing is, what I take away from this is that whatever is given by Guruji, it must be taken completely and not left 1/3, or like the way it was done in the case of this politician.
Very, very important point. Very important point. And my mom's journey with Guruji also started along similar lines because she was diabetic too. And to your earlier point, I think we as mere mortals, especially in this, Kali Yuga, uncle, we look for evidence. And literally a Mahapurush, Supreme Lord, came amongst us, and he's giving us evidence and he's showing us divinity, because in our analytical mind, we relate to things that are tangible, things that can be felt and can be seen. And so, we appreciate when we see um, unconventional things happen. So, for example, if you are a diabetic and he's giving you karelas or bitter gourd and he's treating your sugar, you'll be like, what's the big deal? लेकिन अगर मीठा खिलाकर अगर आपकी sugar ठीक करी है, that's when you'll say, oh my God, this is truly miraculous. So that's what Guruji was, he was uh, constantly, I would say, defying the scientific principles and logic 24/7. The logic that we are so accustomed to, Guruji ke darbar mein wo logic ki koi jagah hi nahi thi. And there was no question of if and but and kintu and parantu. So with that, I'm going to continue reading. The taste of langar served in darbar was divine. It had a taste which cannot be described in words. Some people could not eat the food due to their medical conditions. They were asked by Maharaj to eat it, and they got fully cured. During Maharaj's Darbar in Empire State, Gurbani Shabad selected by Guruji himself were played. These had a deep meaning. If someone said that they did not understand Punjabi, Maharaj would reply that he was not asking them to understand, just to listen. These devotional shabads carry the essence of life and solutions to all human problems. Would you like to add anything,
Yeah.
Uncle?
Yes, Auntie, first of all, the taste of langar, uh, I'm sure that you would also would have uh, experienced this. And I won't say that every time that I had that experience of having something very, very divine langar, but some occasions it was undoubtedly very divine langar because it had a very unique taste, which, as I written, that one could not really explain as to what it was. But positively, it was uh, uh, that kind of a, you know, uh, as you will recall that when the langar used to be served, Guruji sat on his singhasan. He did not leave that till the langar was over for complete sangat.
Right.
And I remember that, I mean, I had a bad habit always look towards that because it had so much attraction, look towards his face. And while
Mm-hmm.
eating langar, I looked to Sen and he looked towards me. And I even today recall that piercing eyes of his. And now I don't recall is that time that I tasted something very, very unique langar, or it was other occasion, or few couple of more occasions. But the langar was undoubtedly very divine. Now, as far as Gurbani is concerned, it is considered as Dhur ki Bani, the Bani
Mm,
that has come from the heaven.
mm,
And it undoubtedly is very soothing, and particularly those shabads which anybody who listens to them and with closed eyes,
mm,
and he will get a beautiful meditation. It is they're meditational, they're soothing, they're calming, and they have a lot of meaning. I mean, like, for example, I'll just explain one small Tati Vau na lagi par brahm sharnai चौगिर्द हमारे राम कार दुख लगे ना भाई कि ताती वाव गरम हवा नहीं लगे ताती वाव न लागी पार ब्रह्म शरणाई अगर ब्रह्म की या भगवान की शरण में जाएं.
mm.
So, I mean, they have a meaning uh, indicating that we must go to his sharan to really get the divine blessing from him. So his shabads were all very, very soothing, very meaningful, which should be played. Uh, those devotional habits. Auntie?
Right. And one very important point that you've noted in this paragraph is that very rightly Guruji would say कि शब्द सुनने को बोला है समझने को नहीं बोला. And I am a prime candidate of this. When I started going to Guruji's दरबार, अंकल मुझे पंजाबी लंबी चौड़ी समझ नहीं आती थी. बोलने में तो अभी भी हाथ तंग है. लेकिन अब सुनते 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 आहिस्ता आहिस्ता थोड़ा बहुत समझ आना शुरू हो गया है. एंड आई डू बिलीव दैट एनी मैसेज दैट इज रियली मेंट फॉर योर सोल विल जंप आउट एट यू. जो आपको आपके सोल की अब्जॉर्ब करने की बात होगी वो आप तक पहुंच जाएगी. तो इवन इफ वी जस्ट फोकस ऑन लिसनिंग, that is more than enough, and that's how he simplified things for his sangat.
Yes.
A devotee son who had been unable to hear for nearly 25 years since birth was able to hear loud and clear once Maharaj blessed him, saying, Kalyan Kitta. There were people who could not hear, speak, or see and were completely cured by the mere blessings of Guruji. One devotee even had glaucoma in the eyes, and his eyesight was restored when blessed by Maharaj. People found improvement in their lives, but everything had to be done within Maryada. He cured a cancerous vocal cord by giving 8 glasses of tea. He saved many lives by preventing heart attacks or helping those who had already suffered one. Guruji called everyone auntie or uncle. The reason for this is only known to him. However, what we believe is that was to eliminate distinction between big and small, high and low, and to treat everybody equally as uncle and auntie. Uncle?
Uh, uh, as far as this glaucoma is concerned, it is known to everybody. It was Raghveer uncle, and as you know that there is no cure for glaucoma.
Mm,
That person becomes blind; he cannot see it. America does not have any cure for that.
mhm,
My own wife's father, my father-in-law, used to live in Delhi, and he used to live in Defense Colony in Delhi, and we used to visit him many times when going to Gurudwara to Guruji's place. He in sorry 2002-3 was diagnosed with glaucoma, and finally after 2, 3, 4 years he became completely blind. And we used to go to Guruji, and it never occurred to us that we should tell him to come with us to Guruji. I took him to All India Institute of Medical Sciences to uh, there was a head of the department of I through some connection. I visited him, and RR also he was treated, but he could not be. So it is that dreaded uh,
right.
condition. And yes, and look at this Ragbir uncle. He goes around all over the world. He's moving around and
Mhm,
doing satsangs. So this was completely Guruji's meher. This vocal
right.
cord, these things. I think Guruji already uh, he picks up his people whom he has to bless and cure. And uh, second thing I mentioned about Maryada. I can
Mhm,
only recall one person. I'm maybe forgetting his name. He's in from Malerkotla who owns about 200 acres of land today. Otherwise, Guruji is never, with Maryada, I mean is that it is not that he said, okay, tomorrow you will be the king. He blessed happiness, he blessed prosperity, but within the Maryada. Uh,
Jai Guruji, uncle.
Ji,
Uncle, the person who has 200 acres of the land is Bakshi's uncle, Bakshi uncle.
acha, okay, I forgot the name. I
Yeah.
know that complete this thing. I know the name. I forgot the name, and but the thing is, and secondly, I'll tell you a very interesting thing. When we went to him in August, after about 3, 4 visits to Guruji, and he called my wife auntie, and my wife was must be a little bit elder to Guruji, but not so as to be called as auntie by him. So it looked very amusing to me at that point of time. Uh, she said, "Alag auntie." So, but as you say, slowly by now this is 98. It was all called uncle aunties, and then what I have said is I really cannot understand or cannot fathom as to why he called people uncle and auntie. And only thing that I can deduce is that that he that is there was no to show there is no difference between rich, poor, big, small, elder, all that. Auntie.
अंकल जो आपने ये कल्याण कित्ता वाला लिखा है वो कर्नल तूर के बेटे का आपने बताया है ना ही वाज नॉट एबल टू
जी
हियर
जी जी जी
जी
जी
जी
जी
जी that's another
जी
literally something we witnessed firsthand
जी
and I think my understanding of this uncle auntie wala concept is कि जहां तक मुझे समझ आई अंकल, दिस इज द स्वीटेस्ट रिलेशनशिप, राइट? आप देखोगे कि भाई भाई में दरार हो सकती है, बाप बेटे में रिफ्ट पड़ सकती है, लेकिन एक अंकल आंटी एक ऐसा रिश्ता है कि आपके घर में, स्पेशली इंडिया में, हमारे कल्चर में, कोई 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 बड़ा आता है जिसको आपको सम्मान देना होता है, आप उसको आंटी या अंकल कहकर बुलाते हो, एंड इट्स अ वेरी नॉन controversial sweet relationship, and it's pretty inclusive. And to your point, we don't have to know what is your social strata, we don't have to know what's your level of education or qualification. All we need to do is that as human beings we need to treat each other with some dignity and respect. So and I think that's what Guruji was demonstrating to us, because he was, and he is, I should say, is an epitome of practical spirituality. Guruji to hamesha practical karke hi dikhate hain. So he led by example. I will continue with his agya. Some
जी
were blessed twice, others 3 times, some 4, some 5 times. Many received multiple blessings, whether through healing, giving life, or setting everything on the right path. These blessings were given according to what Guruji knew each person needed. And they were like proportional to one's connection, which was also by the grace of Guruji himself. Guruji blessed an uncle's son and cured his chronic cancer, got the son married, and blessed his 2 kids. Several times he was saved even in his financial positions, his disputes with his brother. We were just talking about Rishto mein dispute. His disputes with his brother were resolved as if they had never existed. Uncle?
yeah you see by if you read uh, Light of Divinity, there
Ji.
are some satsang which is just one page with
Mm-hmm.
one blessing. One odd is there. I remember uh, that uncle who wrote that birthday poem of Guruji. Uh, Now some are empty number of times you see, and I'm basically pointing out as Jathera uncle,
Ji,
right?
uncle.
So
Ji.
firstly, yes, you find that he, I mean, some of the one that I remember that his son got cured. After
Mm-hmm.
that, twice he himself was admitted in AIMS. He had some this thing, so he was absolutely all right. And uh, as for financial, he did not have a house, and I believe that he had a joint property with his brothers and all that who were not settling down the whole issue. And then
Mm-hmm.
one fine day, by Guruji's blessings, his elder brother or somebody came down and he said, "Let's settle." And I mean, finally they disposed of that property and he got his share and then he bought his house. This thing. Then marrying his son, I mean, it's a satsang by itself. That
Ji.
how, how is this thing? In fact, I meet them recently. I was in India, and I met
Mm.
them on 2 occasions, and they have
Mm-hmm.
the children of their own now. So,
Yes.
so many times Guruji blessed, or I take closer home here is MP Uncle. When you
Mm.
listen to their satsang, there are so many such. So therefore, uh, what I'm basically getting at is, it was Guruji's blessings that at that point of time he blessed that only. And how Ushanti says that you have once blessed means blessed forever. You're getting
Mm.
unknowingly those blessings throughout. And when he was in a physical form, then perhaps he, made you realize and did so many other miracles. Uh, this is what
Ji.
I'm basically getting at,
Ji.
Auntie.
Guruji had arranged a devotee's marriage with his maternal uncle's niece in just 10 minutes. Even medical specialists would come to Guruji for many of their ailments and he would cure them. Chronic asthma is a very troublesome condition, and many devotees with this problem who came to Guruji were cured in no time. He showed a reflection of the inside of a devotee's stomach in a spoon and gave him 20 more years of life as he was sick internally. If someone thought of getting admission to the best university while in front of Guruji, it happened instantly. Guruji would ask students some questions without them knowing that these would be the same questions they would encounter in the examination the next day. Very true.
Yeah.
This is this is close to heart.
Yes, that I've marked it that I'll ask you to read, tell about that. But before that, this
Hanji.
Guruji arranged devotees' marriage. I think it was Joshi uncle's nephew or something, and
Hanji.
medical specialist G, and medical specialist, I think Brigadier Sani, and some other
Ji.
people. And as far as the chronic asthma is concerned, that is, of course, Usha Auntie's daughter, who first went to them. And as far as this spoon, by seeing the whole reflection of the stomach is concerned, this is by Anita Verma auntie, whose
Mm.
husband, Colonel Verma, was a gunner
Mm.
along with us.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, and then after that, she says that he lived for 20 years after that, which Guruji blessed him for. And as far
Ji.
as getting admission in university is concerned, this is Pandavalkar uncle's daughter. I think that is what she got this thing. And as far as telling the question paper, that I think you could be a better person to tell about this.
Hanji uncle, it was pretty fascinating to say the least. And जब हमने गुरुजी के पास जाना शुरू किया था, as teenagers, you're like, you really don't know why you're going, but you're going mechanically because your parents are going. And it was no different for me. And मुझे जरा भी इल्म नहीं था कि हम महापुरुष के पास आ रहे हैं और क्या माँ शिव के पास आ रहे हैं। हम तो बस ऐसे ही चले जाते थे क्योंकि मम्मी पापा जा रहे हैं, हम भी जाके बैठ जाएंगे, और अच्छा लगता था, बस इतना पता था कि यू फील गुड just being there. But again, I think what sets our guru apart is the fact that, like a true teacher, like a guru who actually comes down to your level and strikes in a way which is, the most sort of best understood by you, and you're the most receptive to that. Because I used to hear about these satsangs, health theek ho gayi, sugar theek ho gayi, and that really didn't uh, it didn't move the needle for me, if you will. But as a student who's seeking, progression academically, your guru coming down to your level and actually striking when it's hot, and having a full blown conversation about my economics exam, which was to happen the next day, and asking those exact questions in such an intelligent and articulate manner, that was the time when I was like, wow, this place is legit. Like, यहाँ पर तो सिर्फ health ठीक नहीं होती, यहाँ तो सब कुछ ही होता है, everything is possible. And तब भी, if I tell you that, this was maybe about 20-25 years ago, I don't even remember. अगर मैं ये बोलूं कि मेरे को समझ आ गई थी कि ये महाशिव हैं, तो that would be a lie. I was just in awe of the fact that, oh my God, Guruji has the ability to foresee things. Um, and sure enough, the questions that he asked next day appeared Delhi University ke economics ke exam mein, and I had it. That was a game changer for my soul personally. So, सबका अपना अपना, we all know that सबकी अपनी journey है. सबका विश्वास अपने पेस पे बनता है, गुरु कृपा से बनता है, and just because you're coming as a family doesn't mean that you'll all feel the same way and connect the same way. It's pretty one to one on an individual basis. But for me, that was it. I was like, this place is legit. So little things जो याद रह जाती हैं, and उनकी humility देखकर अभी तक बड़ा इमोशनल हम फील करते हैं, that imagine Mahashiv sitting amongst people like us and coming down to our level to show us and give us a taste of who he really is. So और क्या बोलें गुरुजी के बारे में. He's I think we're extremely lucky कि हम अपने आप को बड़े बड़े गौरव और प्राइड के साथ हम कहते हैं कि हम गुरुजी की संगत है.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Guruji could take prashad from nowhere by just raising his hand. People called it a divine prashad. Yes, Sachkhand ka prashad. Sometimes it was sugar crystals, mishri, sometimes hot halwa or laddu. After taking out the divine prashad, his face noticeably would turn red. The prashad had a fragrance which lasted till the prashad did. Once at a buyer state, Guruji became stiff and a damru appeared in his hand. On breaking it, prashad came out of it and was given to one prominent devotee sitting there. Once Guruji visited a devotee's house who had only almonds to offer. The almonds turned into walnuts, pistachios, and cardamoms. Uncle?
Yeah, this I will tell you that, of course, there are so many people who've been blessed by Guruji with this divine prasad, and right from 80s onwards. And one day, I normally used to sit at the back where DJ Uncle used to, be playing the shabads and all that in that near that set. So pretty back later on as the sangat started increasing. And one day suddenly we heard a lot of commotion that divine prasad is coming. I also uh, witnessed this, but I only know this much that Guruji took out prasad and he gave it to some people in the close vicinity, and that's all. But now we hear from so many satsangs, YouTube satsangs, or from the people, those who had Prashad Adre, MP uncle here in Seattle was mentioning that he had that for very, very long time. Prashad, how he went with Guruji at the Knot place or some place. We were sitting with him and Guruji just took out that and gave it to him. And he kept it, he was mentioning for very, very long time. So this was there, and about this person who visited his house, this was Guruji came to, I think it was Colonel Chatterjee's satsang, which I recall, which he said that he had in his home only badam or something, and some people were to come to his house along with Guruji, and it turned out to be that it all turned into walnuts, pistachios, and cardamom. I think he narrated this, or he narrates this particular thing. I had heard his satsang in Guruji's presence, I think more than once. Auntie?
Right. In a Ramgarh resort, Guruji blessed a person who couldn't have a baby even after 15 years of marriage. Guruji blessed him, and he had a boy and named the child Murad. A devotee who was about 18 years, who about 18 years ago had asked his wife to put a zip in her body, um, who had asked his wife to put a zip in her body because she had multiple operations. Guruji, sometime in the year 2000, told him to talk about the zip story. Guruji knew what he had said to his wife a long time ago. Issues like migraine, back pain, giddiness, ear pain, drooping eyes, skin problems, digestion problems, etc., disappeared by a mere look of Guruji. Uncle?
Auntie, about this Lassi Auntie satsang would have showed that how that uh, Muslim uh, devotee, he was blessed after 15 years. And as far as the zip is concerned, this is basically Gopal Sethi uncle, who I think had, his wife had more than once stomach operation. Once she had, then again, second time they had something other developed and yeah, they had to operate again. And he, many years back, said that to doctor or to his wife, we should put a zip there so that every time there is a problem, you just open the zip. So one day he was told by Guruji in Sangat to tell about satsang. And when he was telling his satsang, Guruji said, Ovi das jira tu zip da kaisika. Now that was said by him many, many years now. This is what he, Now, as far as these things I have mentioned, that issues like migraine, back pain, all these drooping eyes, Colonel Shastri uncle's daughter, you must have uh,
Mhm.
heard that she had drooping eyes, and he was very worried. And in fact, no treatment he could really cure her. And how Guruji just blessed, and he became absolutely all right. So I personally feel that Guruji had those people whose karam were all right, allowed them to come to him,
Hmm.
and this was just a mere his coming itself, calling them itself, was a cure for all these kind of things. I mean, like giving luta, pani, this, that, and all. I think was just a, I would say, to uh, not reveal that who he is. He is. That's what I personally feel.
यस
Yes,
यस
Auntie.
उनके कल्याण करने के तरीके अंकल वाकई बहुत गुप्त थे। इनफैक्ट फॉर द लॉन्गेस्ट टाइम मुझे खुद नहीं पता था कि गुरुजी ने पापा को एक रख दी थी, रक्षा कवच। एंड ही हैंडेड ओवर दैट रख टू हिम एंड ही टोल्ड माय डैड कि ये आप ही गिवन अ वेरी स्पेसिफिक प्लेस के वहां रखना, और घर में किसी को नहीं बताना, बच्चों तक को नहीं। आई एम नॉट श्योर कि मम्मा वाज प्रिवी टू इट और नॉट, बट आई फाउंड आउट अबाउट दैट रख almost, I want to say 25 years later, when I was bringing my father to the US. तब मेरे पापा ने मेरे को बताया अपने लास्ट डेज में कि फलानी फलानी जगह में गुरुजी की दी हुई एक रख है, वो भी अमेरिका जरूर लेकर जाना। दैट वाज द फर्स्ट टाइम आई फाउंड आउट अबाउट दैट रख। सो गुरुजी के कल्याण के तरीके तो आई थिंक हमारे हमारी समझ के बाहर है। One devotee's mother was very ill. Guruji was in Jalandhar and the devotee was in another town. He prayed to Guruji to come and bless his mother. He rang up and found that Guruji was in the ashram in Jalandhar. Next moment, he found Guruji standing in his room in front of his mother. Guruji mentioned that his mother had been granted moksha and by midnight she would be gone. Then Guruji suddenly disappeared. This devotee called up Jalandhar and was told that Guruji was sitting there, which was confirmed by the Sangat. True. Hanji uncle.
This is, I think, satsang by Justice Gill, uncle from Chandigarh, who mentioned that his mother, who was not well, and he prayed, and it was her wish that she would like to meet Guruji, and that is where he uh, uh, contacted Jalandhar, and he was told that Guruji is in Jalandhar.
Mm.
And then he prayed that this thing, and it is, I think, said that Guruji appeared while he had all the guard and all the paraphernalia, those people outside, that
Yeah.
nobody noticed that, and
Mm.
he blessed her. And then, as he left that place, nobody knew that, and then after a little while, he called up Jalandhar Sangat, and he was told that
They said
the
Guruji
Sangat
to
is
yahan
there.
baithe. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
it is. This is what has been said. So this is what
Yes.
basically says that he is at the omnipresent, more than places at present, at more than one place at the same time. So this is about that, Auntie.
Yeah, Guruji का नाता तो बिल्कुल सचखंड के साथ है, uncle. Guruji
Ji.
gave vision to many people with glaucoma, impaired vision, incurable eye problems, as they would be cured by his blessings. Quite often, a devotee with his family visited Guruji. The hall used to be crowded. Invariably, a person from the crowd would come and sit down next to this devotee. He told him his name and said that he had been with Maharaj for many years and would talk about the miracles performed by Guruji. Later, when this devotee wanted to find that person, he was told that there was no person by this name ever who was a sevak of Guruji. The same devotee once wanted to visit the Empire Estate. He had lost his way and the driver could not locate the mandir. This devotee had the phone number of a sevadar. He called that number and he was given the right directions and he reached the Empire State. When This devotee wanted to thank that Sevadar for giving him direction. The devotee was told that nobody was allowed to use a phone in Guruji's darbar, so no one present there could have given the directions. This same devotee was in America, and during a medical procedure, something went wrong, and he got septicemia. In ICU, all his organs started failing. This devotee's family prayed to Guruji. Guruji told them to just put a little salt in the devotee's mouth. The ICU, which was usually surrounded by nursing staff and doctors, was empty when they wanted to put salt in accordance with Guruji's instructions. Uncle?
Uh, this basically, first thing that Guruji gave vision, as I mentioned earlier, that he, people just were called by him, blessed by him, and they are merely coming and touching his, bowing in front of him, they were cured. And this is about MP uncle, who had just gone, as he has told many times, you would have heard his satsangs, that his uncle, his Chacha Ji Prakash, DGP Punjab Police, he had taken him there. And so when he first went there, he says that there was a guy who used to just come next to him, sit down there, and he used to call himself some name also, he says, and he used to keep telling about Guruji that he did this, absolutely. And he said next time again he went, there was hall was all full, but he managed to wriggle out and sit down next to him. And again told. So later on, after some time, when MP uncle asks somebody about this person name, he narrates the name also, I forget the name. I think a Rajput name, because knowing that MP uncle is a Rajput, so they said there is nobody of this name. And similarly about this phone number, he says that the driver forgot that the direction, and then Guruji, I think, had given him some Sevadar's number that to contact him. So he called up that number. That Sevadar was present in Guruji's darbar, but he said that he never received any call, and you could not use the phone there. And regarding this ICU, you would have heard him quite this thing that septicemia is a, and what I conclude with this is a thing like thing like disease like septicemia, where all blood, red blood turns into white, and there is just no cure of that. It's a very dangerous thing. So what comes to my mind is, what does that, what is that power that makes the blood red to white? There are small microorganisms, bacteria, or whatever you may call them, who are all controlled by God. So they attack, and then a person is in that stage, and if the God's Guruji's blessing is there, they all retreat with whatever, and they all retreat. This is what comes to my mind. And he became absolutely fine. Shanti narrates this many number of times, this particular satsang. Auntie?
Tera ant kise nahi paya. They were able to place the salt in devotee's mouth, and the next moment, the medical staff started cheering, and he was showing signs of improvement. At one point, his heartbeat had come down to the 30s. Guruji, sitting in Delhi, while the devotee was in the USA, told the devotee's relatives in India that he made it to 72. Instantaneously, they could see it on the monitor that the pulse rate has risen to 72, as if Guruji was controlling it from Delhi. On another occasion, the same devotee's lungs had collapsed and he was in ICU. Guruji blessed him and he became perfectly fine in no time. There are people alive today who share their miracles of Guruji. These are individuals of great eminence in education, but today they are totally devoted to Guruji for the life that he has given to mankind. Guruji disguised himself as a fakir and went to the shop of a devotee to ask for some alms. The devotee gave him 2 rupees. In the evening, when the devotee came to Empire State, Guruji asked her, "You only gave 2 rupees during my visit to your shop?" Guruji told one of his devotees to take his father, affectionately called Bapuji, to a particular doctor near Dugri. When told about Guruji, the doctor point blank said that he did not believe in such supernatural powers. But subsequently, he came on a temporary duty to Delhi for a medical conference, and by Guruji's grace, he visited the Empire State. The first thing Maharaj told him was that his daughter was not well. She had a mental condition. He was amazed to hear this. Guruji blessed him and his daughter, and she became perfectly all right. Uncle?
Uh, what basically I am meaning here by saying that there are people alive today who share their miracles with Guru, they are people of great eminence. I am basically implying one, emphasizing one, that these are not the people who are, who could be, who could get hallucinations, who could get
Mhm.
brainwashed. I mean, they're all very learned people, like,
Right,
Arun Chauri, for example, and many
right.
others. I mean,
Mhm.
generals and chiefs and politicians and business tycoons.
Mhm.
So basically, that is saying that this all miracle happened to such people who are narrating about this. About this auntie, now I forget the name, I remember her, that Guruji, uh, you know, uh, she gave 2 rupees and beggar came. I think she had a shop in Karol Bagh or
Meera
someplace.
Kapoor. Meera Kapoor.
Acha,
Yeah.
so yes, you remember that.
Yeah.
So about this doctor, that is, I think Narendra Dhand uncle narrates that
Yep.
he was told by Guruji to take his Bapu was not well. Bapuji
Mhm.
was not well. And when he went to this doctor, the doctor was very, he was not very kind. So first review, second time again, Guruji said, no, don't jao. Again, second time and he went. So anyway, he listened to him. And when he said that the Guruji does a lot of miracles and all that, so he said, look, I'm a, I don't believe in supernatural powers. And then
Mhm.
suddenly this guy, his daughter wasn't in perfect condition. She was a mental problem. And how he was, Guruji moved him to Delhi for some meeting or conference, AIMS, and from there, how he visited him. And Guruji told him that this is what it is, and he cured him. Uh,
Mhm.
uh, uh, so basically, it is just to say that it is only a God can do such kind of thing.
Correct.
And
Correct.
Ji, auntie.
Guruji wanted a lot of devotees to come to him so that he could bless them all. On a particular day, there were about 1,000 Sangat in Bada Mandir. Maharaj said that he had blessed 1 million persons that day. It was said that even if one member of the family visits Guruji, the whole family gets blessed. One auntie had a skin problem as well as a problem of repeated visits to the washroom. Maharaj mentioned this to her. She was blessed and completely cured by Maharaj. In the early 80s, an IAS officer had a terrible car accident, and doctors had told him that he would be bedridden for a long time. But with Guruji's blessings, he got cured in a very short time. Uncle?
Uh, you know, in Chota Mandir, or that is Empire State, we initially, when I first went, and we just saw about 10 people. And I thought that this is all that Sangat is, but I did not know that Guruji had huge following in Punjab,
Yeah.
Rajasthan, and Chandigarh, and these areas. And only that was revealed when on his birthday on 7th July, in that farmhouse or that ground, there were about, number of buses that came from these states and areas. Almost 25,000 devotees had come there, in spite of the fact that Guruji never revealed where he's going to be. other thing is that Guruji always blessed so many people, though the Sangat would be just few, but through his divine miracles, he would be blessing many, many peoples. And I think somebody mentioned that Guruji said, "Main inne lakh bande bless karke aaya." Auntie?
Yeah, this was actually, Uncle, this was a direct conversation between my father and Guruji. पापा घुट रहे थे गुरुजी को एंड गुरुजी ने उनसे पंजाबी में पूछा कि जनरल साहब ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਕੀ ਲੱਗਦਾ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਮੈਂ ਕਿੰਨੇ ਲੋਕਾਂ ਦਾ ਕਲਿਆਣ ਕੀਤਾ ਹੈ and my dad just uttered some random number and he actually corrected him and he said कि जनरल साहब मैं 1 करोड़ से ऊपर जनों का कल्याण कर चुका हूँ and it was a hard pill to swallow. ऐसे तुम्हें लगता था कि कैसे गुरुजी ऐसे बोल रहे हैं 30 लोग बैठे हैं मतलब 1 करोड़ और कभी कभी वो ये भी बोल देते थे ओ फलाना है वो कश्मीर का चीफ मिनिस्टर या फलाना या ढमकाना दैट रॉयल फैमिली मेरा भगत है वो ऐसे गुरुजी वो से और लिटरली अंकल हंसी छूट जाती थी कि गुरुजी कैसे कह रहे हैं कि उनको कभी यहाँ देखा नहीं एंड बेवकूफ हम थे we were foolish that we couldn't even fathom the depth and we still can't but so is his grace. And the next paragraph also alludes to this that you're spot on about what you've written here, and we've heard many such satsangs that Guruji could indeed create ghost trains. A devotee who was to go from Delhi to Jammu after he had visited Guruji was not permitted to leave till the time of the train departure. This devotee had another 15 to 20 friends waiting for him at the railway station because all the tickets were with this devotee. When he finally reached the railway station and inquired from one of the ticket collectors, he was told that the train had left, but there was another train on a different platform ready to go to Katra. They boarded the train. Later, they wanted to return by the same train and they went to the railway station in Jammu only to be informed that there was no such train. It never existed. This is how Maharaj used to create ghost trains for his devotees. Uncle?
Yeah, Auntie, this is, I think, more than one. I think General Malhotra, Major General Malhotra, they also narrated a similar kind of
Yes.
this thing.
Mhm.
Yeah, and this is, and how everything was absolutely beautifully connected in case of General Malhotra, that they got down at Bala and from there they got into the bus exactly and they reached home where they had to come. And again, that ghost train was, and as far as this is concerned, narrated by one of the devotee, that how he visited Guruji, and he had about 15-20 his friends who were waiting at the railway station. And as luck could have it, he had all the tickets of those people could not board the train. So he got late. And when he reached the railway station, and they found out that the train is left, and there was some TT or somebody was coming. That also Guruji plans the TT to come towards that side. So they ask him. They say, "Yeah, the train is waiting there for going to that place to Katra."
Yeah.
And
Right.
later on, when he wanted to come by the same train, they were told there was no such train ever existed. Ji auntie.
Sthan, Samay, Parasthiti. Guruji was very particular about, all the three factors. And he would literally change, kalyan bakshne ke liye समय बदल देते थे स्थान बदल देते थे circumstances बदल देते थे ताकि वो आपको उस particular way में कल्याण बख्श सके. A devotee was once posted out of Jalandhar. Guruji told him that his emergency light would be in box number 13. They forgot about it. And later, on reaching their destination, when they opened the boxes, they found that the emergency light was in box number 13. One devotee had only one kidney since birth. Maharaj called him Ik Purjeta Banda. Later, through an ultrasound, he came to know that he had only one kidney. Maharaj visited a devotee's factory for inauguration near Delhi. Some other devotees who had also accompanied him narrated that Guruji had already told him about the complete layout of the factory a month ago. Uncle?
Uh, Auntie, this is, I think it's Singla uncle's son who narrates this, that they were packing up their luggage and he had put this in box number 13, which he did not know. He just put it there. He put it
Mm-hmm.
in the bag in this thing, and Guruji told him that the light is in box number 13. So when at the destination they come opened that particular box 13, the light was there. This is again, I think, somewhere in Rajasthan. This gentleman went to Guruji, and he felt very bad when Guruji said, "Ik purjeta banda." He felt offended. But later, when he got on some pretext his ultrasound done, he came to know by birth he had only one kidney. Uh, so, auntie, he was Jani Jane. He knows everything. And it is only now we know. I mean, at that time, having spent so many days with him, but his charisma, what he wanted to reveal us, he revealed only that much. And in spite of doing all this, like man should immediately ghanti bajani chahiye ki Guruji said that ek purja, and then he finds he's got only one kidney. That who could have said that and seen inside? But Guruji never let that happen. It's only today that we know that Shivji Maharaj, Mahapurush, in the form of Mahapurush, came, blessed so many
Jay.
people, auntie.
And continues to
Auntie.
do so. Once an auntie had a heart problem. She dreamt that she had been operated on. Later, Guruji told her that he had cured her. He cured people's kidneys and reduced their agony of a kidney transplant. Guruji made devotees see Lord Shiv, Guru Nanak, the 10 Sikh gurus, Satya Sai Baba, and many more. One auntie even saw in Bade Mandir a Shiv Murti, half of which was Guruji, and the eyes were moving. Another auntie saw eyes coming out of Guruji's Swarup or portrait. She was also shown her mother sitting in heaven. He showed the complete scene of Kailash Parvat to a few devotees in Bada Mandir. They later narrated that they could see the top of Bada Mandir had turned into Kailash Parvat and water was flowing down from it.
Uh, yeah, auntie, now this is basically, I said that these are excerpts of some of the satsangs which I read during the pandemic through in Light of Divinity, or heard during that time so many hundreds of videos.
Ji.
So these are excerpts from that I had taken out, and basically my intention was for new Sangat to know that Guruji's powers, that what miracles he could do. And first chapter reading, I had narrated that how the gods that we know, uh, Krishna Bhagwan, Ramchandraji, Jesus, so many of them, they did miracles. And I also narrated that time that perhaps those social media and print media and all was not available. They would have done hundreds of this thing, but only few are known. But here today, we are seeing with our own eyes. So many people they got experiences. As we go by, you will see that I'll narrate my experiences of that time. And Guruji, they were very fortunate people, like Sukhi auntie, Usha auntie, for example. She narrates that how Guruji sent her to Bada Mandir in the morning, and as she went there, the Bal Shivji was outside. That how
Mm.
he turned half into Guruji and and his eyes were moving. And as far as this Kailash Parvat is concerned, this is, I think, Singla auntie, if I'm not wrong. She was there in the thing, and that is the time that Guruji it rained a lot, and then she could not, and they were in some room. From there, they saw outside. She narrates all this. So this, who can do all these kind of things? It is Shivji
बिल्कुल
Maharaj.
अंकल, बिल्कुल
Nobody can.
जी बिल्कुल Uncle, from where can we get a copy of your book?
You know, I'll what I'll do is I'll send you a link.
हाँ जी,
And
ठीक,
I'll send you a link. And I had taken only about 50 copies, which I brought
जी,
to Seattle and kept on distributing. And now just left with 2, 3 of them,
जी,
which I want to. I have to go to LA in June. I want to carry some of them there. So I'll send you a link.
अच्छा,
You
ठीक है,
could have this. Ji.
ठीक है. I am so glad that you compiled all these
Ji.
excerpts.
Ji.
क्योंकि
Auntie,
एक
now
जगह पे
I.
variety of सत्संग्स पढ़ने को मिल जाते हैं, तो it's like it's a blessing.
Ji, Auntie. And I will request Vasan uncle now to stop recording this, because I just wanted to pay my respects to General Kapoor. I was posted in Army headquarters, and I used to visit his office. I think he was DG Infantry, if I'm not wrong.
जी, he was, हाँ जी,
He was DG Infantry. And
Director General.
there was one of his brigadier, I forget his name, Garhwal officer. I used to go to him. And later on also meet General Kapoor a lot time. And he was very, very in Empire State, we'll sit down, chat. And we went to Sangat in General Malhotra's house in
हाँ जी,
that DLF enclave with him. And what a great soul. Uh, uh,
thank you,
we
Uncle.
always remember him, his satsangs, and his. Well, I remember in Kilclare Farm, because I had also gone there on 4th on that 2004 December.
जी,
So
Mhm.
I just wanted to say that I felt very nice that I'm talking to somebody who has, so a lot of respects for Jan Kapoor.
Thank you so much,
No
Uncle.
doubt
It's a
he's in
small
Guruji's
world.
Sharan. Ji, he's in
It,
Guruji's Sharan.
हाँ जी.
Sharan, ji auntie.
जय गुरु जी महाराज.
Ji, yeah.
Uncle mentioned General Malhotra a couple times. Uncle, I did not know for the longest time that Nikki was my classmate in 6th grade. We
Ji,
imagine 6th grade में हम एक साथ पढ़ते थे. उसके बाद we went different ways, and later we've all come under Guruji's umbrella. So this is how he connects the
ji,
dots. And आज तो बैसाखी
ji,
है, so सौ धरती पई हरियावली जित्थे मेरा सतगुरु बैठा है.
ji, ji.
जय गुरु जी. संगति
Jai
परिवार है.
Guruji.
संगति असली
बिल्कुल.
परिवार है.
Ji,
और
auntie.
गुरुजी हमारी दुनिया है.
गुरु जी
Happy Vaisakhi to everybody, to the whole
you all. Guru Sangat.
multilingual parvar.
Thank you, Uncle.
Yes.
A blissful divine dating session we have witnessed. महाराज की कृपा बनी रहे हम सब पर, आप सब पर. और संगत जी को मैं ये बताना चाहता हूँ कि नेक्स्ट सेशन जो है अगले संडे को है, और बड़ा मंदिर विल बी द टॉपिक, एंड गोपाल सेठी अंकल जी हैव एग्रीड टू टेक दिस रीडिंग सेशन. थैंक्स अ लॉट अलग अंकल फॉर स्पेयरिंग योर वैल्यूएबल टाइम. मुझे मालूम है कि आप किसी फंक्शन से आप भाग भाग के आए हो अटेंड करने के लिए. और so we
There's
are
nothing bigger than this.
fortunate कि we are in different time zones, और हम सब कंटिनेंट्स को मिला के महाराज की कृपा हम सब सुनते हैं, ब्लेसिंग सुनते हैं महाराज की. इसी के साथ ही हम सब